This bed is on fire with passionate love. The neighbors complain about the noises above, but she only comes when she's on top. Oh yeah. My therapist said not to see you no more. She said you're like a disease without any cure. She said I'm so obsessed that I'm becoming a bore. Oh no, I think you're so pretty. Cut your hand inside a till, slammed your fingers on the door, for with knives and skewers. Dress me up in women's clothes, mess around with gender roles, line my eyes and call me pretty. It's good to see everybody. It took me quite a while to get back onto the horse here, having fallen off it with the old Streamlabs not really cooperating. The markets have already opened, and we'll just dive straight on into analysing what's been going on in the charts. It's very good to see you. I had to actually download Streamlabs all over again, install it all over again, even though it's already installed. Install it all over again. Bam, bam, bam. You think you're so pretty. It's good to see everybody. Good to see you, Space Banana. Good to see you, Stephen Kimbler. Good to see you, Kim. Good to see you, Eddie, Kitty, Babes, Sally Mander, Christy, and Tony Wright. Woohoo! Tony Wright's in there as well. I am not a cat. Clappity clap, wave, wave, wave. Well, the markets have already opened. It is 52 minutes after the hour. It is already coming up to 3 o'clock. The sort of time that I would normally end. I'm a little bit later today because I did a show with a friend. Nice to see you, Tony. And here we are to take a look at the charts. Anyway, we'll carry the show on through till about, I don't know what, maybe I'll tune out by about an hour. So about an hour. We'll do a show for about an hour here, right? Hey. So if you're wondering why I'm singing that song, it's because Chris Isaacs outside has morphed into James, of course, and I've heard Laid by James maybe 4 times a day, so that's pretty cool. It's a good song, I like it and everything. I just wish that the guy would choose different songs to sing from time to time instead of singing the same ones time and again. The prices of GME right now kicking about $160 so far today, having been up at those heavy, heady, lofty highs of $162, but not so far actually managing to break on through that area. The diminishing volume that we're seeing throughout this period of time as the prices have gone up makes sense, because we're coming into an area which is one for consolidation. It's a bit of one of those inflection points on the chart, so that's what we've got. That's why we've got it. If everybody that's here could hit like already, I'm sure you probably have, as I see that I've got 69 concurrent viewers and 69 likes, but if you like the sound of that, then why not hit like again? And the price of GME right now, 159. The opening range having already more or less expressed itself, therefore, for the day, so it's something that we can check in with. There was a gap that got immediately filled. Then the prices dropped down and tested the 50 moving average. It thinks it's so pretty. We're down below that previous low that we had on the go over there on the 12th of August. Let me just check here. Yes, indeed, it is Friday, the 13th of August. That's right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 13th, and it is a Friday at the same time. Put on your tinfoil hats. Things could be unlucky. Well, so far we're just as well within the range of the previous doji candle, the wick that we had on the go there. So while the prices have dropped, they are and they do look to be like wanting to come in and test this 159 area again, perhaps as well. It's already, it's what it's doing right now. So let's just see how things kind of go on that one, if we're going to see a turnaround at some point. I suppose since we're joining the chart slightly later than we have been of late, I could probably drop the VWAP or something like that onto the charts as well, and give a shout out to my friend Pi-Fi Financial, the guy that loves the VWAP. He truly does. Well, here we have AMC prices so far kicking about at the minute today at 32.58. Seemingly the day started off with a gap down. Is that right though? I mean, wait a minute. Wait, where was the chart? Yeah, 1:30. That's my time in terms of UTC and when the market's open. So yes, right. Okay, and then we came up towards $33 at the start of the day. It is that number that we've been looking for. Will it be able to turn around the prices and found what is potentially a low? Well, with today's kind of, pre-market taking us down to 31.91, again, perhaps that is where we find ourselves right now, having done such a thing. The upward slope on the 50 simple period moving average over here, giving us a little bit of positivity in terms of we know that the recent price action has been towards the top side. Of course, these things are always lagging indicators. It's something that I'll be talking about in today's show, the segment for GME. And again, if you are here and just joining us, then do hit that like button. 5 minutes time will be at the top of the hour. It will be 3 p.m. my time, and of course 10 a.m. your time. I hope you're having a fantastic morning, America. And if you've got a cup of tea or a cup of coffee that you're enjoying it, with tea time with Rocky, no tea, that's fine, have coffee. And yeah, so this is it. We're at a point of inflection in the markets. One we anticipated that would be coming up, of course, with both GME and AMC, but one which has taken, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, and now so far Friday to find any sort of resolution with. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye out on, I suppose, so far today. When we do get around to the top of the hour, I'll take a look at some news. There was news submitted to the news channel on El Discordo over there. Are you a current student? Join the Discord. No, I'm not a student. Right. So there was news submitted to the Newsland. Over here, where's news? Yes, news. Right, interesting stuff. And this one's got some comments down below here. What the hedgies et al. Don't understand is that we have people who dedicate years of their lives perfecting one game. Get thousands of us poking holes in your criminal enterprises and we'll figure it out. Interesting perspective there coming in from Cami. I do tend to agree with that. That's something that the hedge phones, ring, a hedgy phone. Something that hedge phones haven't quite ringedy-ringed figured out quite yet, of course, is the chances that the general markets might just have one or two experts in them as well, even one or two employees of the old investment banks, hedge funds, and all the rest of it as well. There's a post that's up on Superstonk. That's something that we can talk about if we desire. So there will be news, etc. coming up, and all that in the show. AMC current prices $32.90. GME current prices over there $160.20, and we can check in on some other stocks that we have looked at in the recent past. I wonder how Plitter did with its movements. Yes, up. Oh, it hit our target. Boom, bitty, boom, boom, boom. Back down again. Well, thank you, Planter, for doing exactly what we said that we were talking about. Maybe a discussion that could happen at some point today as well is the idea of course, taking profits, etc., and trading, and how that all fits together with your long-term financial success, of course, because as we can see in the markets here with these movements that came up and down, that there was that play to be had. Should we have seen that we got that we found some sort of support in here in the Netherland between where the gap started yesterday. So what happened was yesterday there was a gap, right? It took us up to a slightly different sort of paradigm with regards to the pricing. We were asking, is this a breakaway gap? Could it be a breakaway gap? We saw the prices recess down the way we said. Generally speaking, that the momentum was looking like it could be with the bulls. It depends on whether or not they actually start buying again, having done a little bit of the old releasing the pressure valve, if you like, with regards to this stock at the start of the trading session yesterday. By when the prices have gone up in pre-market, selling into that early market enthusiasm to take some profit on their own positions, but indeed then, of course, actually driving this on up the way because the bulls did have it, and the prices then, of course, flew up towards 25.72 before coming back down again. And this is what we could have, and then in fact did, I do believe, anticipate, as we see that Sensory Oaks has become an early supporter. Plus, thank you so much for choosing to give me $8 or $9 a month or whatever that is, $10 a month or something. Thank you so much for that, mate. Really does help all the time. All those contributions that everybody makes really do. To what? To this. This is the Rocky Outcrop Show. I am Rocky Outcrop. I have another name as well, one that I was born with. It's Richard, by the way. But I've been going by the name Rocky Outcrop for many years now. One of the things that I love doing is technical analysis and seeing my brethren, the Rocky Outcrops, on the chart there, forming those peaks and troughs. And that's what we do on the show in a FOMO-free, greed-free way. Of course, I am a former professional employee of the evil empire themselves, and I'm here to kind of give you a bit of insight behind the curtain, but also as well the confidence and belief that you will need if you are to succeed out there in the world as a self-reliant, independent, vigilant, good trader in the world of finance. Brilliant. So that is Planter Technologies. It is, of course, the start of a new hour, a new day, a new dawn at the end of the week. Whoa, every single hour that goes by brings us closer to it's Friday, yeah, and we're looking forward to the weekend, of course, as ever. But we have an exciting day of trading ahead of us, and there has been some news in the world. We also sang a bit of the old song Laid by James to get the show on the road here. I'm just seeing if I can bring up any of the old news articles out there. Yes, this is what we've been talking about as well this week. It has been the testimony that Gary Gensler put before the House Committee on Financial Services. So something that people have been thinking about now. There's a little bit of thinking material in here for those who are in the House Committee who don't know anything about economics or finance, that they want to be able to twiddle their thumbs in a proactive way. He's given them that by talking about crap like social media and other stuff in there, which is really mostly just nonsense, a gamification of the user experience, all that sort of soft shite that a completely ineffective politician would be able to get their teeth, their gummy gums, their false teeth gumming right into on that one. Yes, I expect many good pieces of work to be put into that spurious, useless body, which eventually becomes some sort of negative sentiment towards retail market at the end of the day, because of course everybody I just do that by accident. I might have just touched that by accident. If I've been muted this entire time, by the way, if I've been muted this entire time, by the way, let's just see. I'm going to say it. You've been muted. But earlier on, Rocky, did you see that? No, you would have been telling me earlier on. So yeah, anyway, this story here, don't know how much of it you caught. Thank you so much, by the way. I am not a cat. Really appreciate the donation there. By Sarah E. Needleman is a story about Ryan Cohen, of course, as well. We know all about him because we've been watching along here with his entire success story here, starting off with Chewy's. You know the song, I like Ryan Cohen. Yeah, we've even taken up eating Chewy's. That's right, of course. Ain't nobody in the market's got swagger like us. And Ryan Cohen is very much like that, coming in with his swagger of an old school corporate raider, wielding little more than a minority stake and a sharp tongue. Mr. Cohen pushed out GameStop's executive team. Not really. GameStop were really kind of actually gearing up towards these sorts of changes themselves. Ryan Cohen coming in at the perfect moment to capitalize on what was otherwise a perfect storm. We know this ourselves from when we listened on to the shareholder meeting and when they announced the new CEO coming in and the former CEO with a great degree of positivity, welcoming in the new force for good. Everybody very happy with the direction the company's going, and very little of that feeling of pushed or ousted, and very much more a feeling of collaborative and positive working towards the future. But anyway, Papa Cohen, or Don Cohen, I guess, is going to be what these guys start getting called. The guy has got swagger, of course, though. Mr. Cohen has made a winning look so easy so far. It is far from clear what comes next from his purchase chairman. He has to revamp GameStop's business, if only to justify the stock's remarkable run. The stock closed Wednesday around 159 per share, blah, 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 blah. Pardon me, and this is where the Wall Street Journal kind of makes it so I don't actually, not enticed to read that any longer. The thing about it is we know all about it already. Here is GameStop's chart, in fact, as well, and we can talk about this ourselves if we want, but you know, we already know the score. GameStop is transforming into an e-commerce business, and the ramping up of that is happening all of the time with the delivery of new products onto the website. For instance, shout out to all of the above knee boot wearing friends out there. You can now buy knee-high leather boots on the GameStop website. Definitely exploring new areas. Now, this is a lovely thing, and it's all coming together at a time when we're investing in it together, so we're already very much familiar with it. It is not all that hard to say what comes next. It's more like it's harder to say what the reaction of everybody else that comes next is going to be, because we already know that GameStop is a company which is massively transforming, and just like the intrepid naturist, as we see the caterpillar climb inside its cocoon before transforming into the most majestic butterfly, we are anticipating that change rapidly. And for the other observers who just simply see a cocoon, it may be hard for them to see what comes next. Will it be a moth? Will it be a butterfly? Well, I can tell you it's going to be an absolutely fantastic, beautiful butterfly that flies out of that thing. But I can see everybody in the chat getting along very well, and it's nice to see you. The Mighty Red, lovely to see you, the Mighty Red, looking good in red over there. Eddie B looking good out there as well, and Kim Robbins and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. As ever, it's really wonderful to have you all here. Katie of Charka as well. Of Charka, a word I did not know until you became a part of everything that's going on over here, but jeepers creepers, of Charkas are some animals, are they not? Ashley Lem is feeling good in the chat. Actually, I take that back. She says, I feel angry when that a bit and I feel defeated. I hate shorting hedge funds. Yes, well, we do hate the shorting hedge funds, but of course we rely on them. We rely on the shorting hedge funds. Let's not be too despondent. As I zoom out on the old charts here and look for my drawings. Where are my drawings at? Here we have them. Come on, come on. This is the shorting hedge funds. We're just bringing the shorting hedge funds onto the screen just now. Go up to 24-hour time frame so I can fit a bit more of this in here. In fact, so there we have the shorting hedge funds here. This is us with this bizarre expression on our face. We're wearing a hat. We're standing there and we have a fishing pole. That's what that is. I'll put a little reel on it and everything. We've got a fishing pole here, and this is our fishing line. And we've got these wee fishes in here, whee! And these, of course, are the short and hedge funds. Now, short and hedge funds, they, of course, have a sort of modus operandi, and what it's going to be is to short. And what you need as well is, of course, for any time for a short to be a compelling case, for there to be technical reasons and frickin' whatever the feck you want to call fundamental reasons for there to be a short. as we enter 10 past the hour. Now, if you do actually want to discuss any of those news articles or anything like that again, we can absolutely do it before the end of the show. We probably have about 50 minutes left on the show, and I do want to thank everybody for joining me as we take a look at the GME charts together here as ever, like we do every day on the Rocket Outcrop show. And before we tune out as well, we'll also be taking a look at other things. Be sure, if you want me to take a look at one, to chuck your suggestion into the chat box. I have to say, a lot of chat always flows by. I could miss it. If you want me to do it, you can stick a super chat on there. But everybody knows on the channel here that also you can just ask me. If you feel like donating after, then you can donate after, and whatever else. It's not like I'm in it for that. I'm in it to actually distribute knowledge to folks, and that's what we're doing here as we talk about, of course, the short and hedge funds being compelled to get in on doubling down on their positions. Now, if you actually want MOAS to happen, it's very nice and everything to think about how the hedge funds and that would have been as effed in the A as they needed to be back when the prices of it were like $4, etc., and they were shorting it then. And of course they were absolutely as effed in the A as they needed to be. But in order for us to see the prices go extremely, extremely high, we of course do want them to see, we want to see them doubling down on their positions, and this is the type of environment where they would be doing that, just exactly that sort of thing. So that's good to see in a sense, right? And that's where we are with this one. We're pretty sure in the here and now that a movement up above 162 is enough to kind of really see us going up and trying towards the next levels at 180 and so on, and we could be then trying 200 and 195 thereafter. But as it stands right now, we're not successfully doing that. Instead, what we're keeping our eye to is just simply kind of 3 or 4 numbers around this region, talking about 165 really before we start to get that kind of salivating excited approach to things. We're talking about how there's a 236 Fibonacci retracement currently now, of course, in there at that 162 area, as we knew that there would be. We also have another one from up above coming down the way in there at that 162, 160s area as well. That's why we've got that orange line in there. And we've been talking about the different approaches psychologically towards this region, one of which, of course, is talking about this from a sort of Elliott waiver type point of view, where you're going down here and saying, yes, we need to do 5 waves, and we've only done 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. And that's all fine, that's all fair enough, but that's like, so what on it, really. We could also talk about it from a pattern point of view and say that perhaps we broke outside of a triangular type shape here, or we could even try and force the issue and say that we're in one. We could even talk about this as being channels and all sorts of other crap like that as well. The simple case of trading with nimble feet in a market remains the case as ever, and that you don't want to get too distracted by all the different bells and whistles that you can apply to the charts overall, and just simply talk about things from a point of view of the round numbers, etc., where you have the horizontal support and resistance. And it's actually really quite simple at the minute, because of course we've got that 160 number, so there's one of those numbers that we're talking about. We've got that 165 number, so that's 2 of the numbers we're talking about. Then we've got that 155 number, where you kind of like, if we see us taking out these wicks here in this little consolidation section, that's the 24-hour time frame. Drop down to something like the 1-hour time frame, and then you can see that 155 is indeed where that previous low was, etc. So 155 there for that. We've got 150 in terms of like where you'd be hoping to see a higher low coming in at on this 1-hour time frame, etc. And all of that just spells out a story for us where eventually you look down to like the 145 and you say, well, if we go past 145, what are the chances of us going towards 135? Fairly steep at that point, obviously, fairly chancy. But while we're in spitting distance of the 160s area and we're above 155, the conversation remains really very, very, very simple, and that's to do with whether or not we're able to take out 165, because tests of 155 and 160 are, of course, very much the most popular items on the menu at the minute for everybody out there doing their trading on the markets, right? So that's where we have that coming up to 1/4 the hour, and we can take a look at something else. And I think that maybe it's about this sort of a time that we can probably just quickly, briefly visit for like 15 seconds the AMC chart, and then do a little story through crypto land. How about we do that, and maybe even bring up along the way a couple of a couple, maybe even record it. I don't know, chuck it on the internet, see what people think of the thing. I've got a lot of drawings in there. Quick tip for people when they're looking at their charts is that you have this object tree over on the right hand side. You may or may not be able to see that, and then you can bring up the object tree, which you can now see on my screen, and you can delete stuff off of it. Now obviously you can delete stuff off as like a basic function. You can also rearrange it in terms of its visual order. You can rename these things so that you know what it is that you're looking at, and you can do all sorts of good administrative work there really for yourself to keep your charts all organized and clean and understand your what things are, you know. So for example here I've got this downward sloping line, and it's just called trend line, and I could rename that trend line if I wanted to over here. Couldn't I? Maybe I can't. Yeah, I can. So I can rename the trend line and say this is the lower support line with which highlights bull divergence. You know, like that's what that's for. I can call it that if I want to, and then I can as well. You can do things like add text and say look for the bullish divergence in that area, you know, and like you can lay out things like that. Now, if you're interested in that type of quality content, which is really, you know, actually extremely useful, and especially for the likes of you out there who really love that type of control over the visuals that you have on the chart and the detail you can get there, then check out FU Money's channel. Of course, he is a member of the Discord, FU, formerly known as Discord, and you can see the videos in there. So if you're a member of the Discord, then check out his channel. Be sure to. He's got lots of that sort of tip for you. Really useful stuff. Okay, anyway, AMC in this area needs to take out 33, but well, we're below all the threes, and we're remaining positive about the edge that the 236 and the 50 simple moving average on the 1 hour time frame gives us, and we are indeed then continuing to look towards the top side where we see the 200 simples sloped on down below the 618 golden pocket, and our target at the minute comes in here at a slightly lower high, and it's going to be 3666, sorry, 3636, whatever, 3636, good number for me. I'm happy with that. That would be a nice target for us in the meantime, but that just simply puts in a lower high, looking for this thing to actually start to get some trending action towards the top side. The 1 hour time frame showing us that it actually got a lower low over here than our previous low, and that of course is where that bullish divergence story comes in at, but we need to kind of say below 4 hours. Because when I jump up here towards the 4 hour time frame, then you can see that this indeed is not a lower low at all. It's a higher low, and we've moved up since, and it's a slightly different dynamic that we've got on the go just there. So that would be a high with a higher low, and taking out that 36, 66, 37 area is then putting in a higher high, and that's trend in price action, and that's what we're looking to see happen. So that's the dynamic, and it's between the 1 and the 4 in a bit of a tug of war there at the minute on that one, bringing us through actually now at the minute to 18 minutes past 3, and we'll take a look at crypto charts for 10 minutes between 20 past and 30 past. Right, we'll go all the way down to the bottom of the hour, as you say over there in the States, taking a look at the crypto markets. As Eddie in the chat says, Rocky is probably saying really important stuff. I probably am. There's probably some important stuff out there. I'm so glad I didn't go poop before that shout out, lol, says FU Money. Totally. And if you're also interested in shout outs at the minute, I have to give one to my good friend Tony, who I was on the show with earlier on today on Tony's channel. So there's a clip there if you want to go and watch it. It's a nice hour and a half chat with Tony and I, talking about just, you know, the ideas and the mindsets that you want to have if you want to be a financially independent person. Now, of course, as well, if you just want to be financially more independent than you already are, whilst continuing to kind of the status quo of working, etc., at whatever you're doing in your current jobs and enterprises, you know, in order to get that incomes, get them greenbacks. Well, that's what we were chatting about there, and it was mostly as well about kind of, you know, the atmosphere, the friendship, and the and introducing each other, you know, to everybody. So that's cool, and you can check that out, and it's definitely worth a wee watch. And we'll be doing something like that again, I'm sure, in El Futuro. Right. So do be sure to join that Discord if you've not already, and you're looking to get, you know, constant access to top quality people. Now, it's not, I don't own these people, the Discord doesn't own them, the community does not own them, it's just they happen to be there, and that's the type of quality person that you find inside that area, and you yourself probably will go on to be just yet another quality person. And wrapping that little section up by giving a shout out to my good friend Eddie, who indeed is doing just precisely that. I was watching his test live stream the other day when he says, I'm here, take me, I want you to be here to, I want to be here to be that resource for people so that they can really truly believe in themselves and get more confident. And that sort of channel, that sort of content, whilst being a really nice guy, is a super valuable thing, and he's a member of the community as well. So big up all of y'all. 20 past at the minute, and I think it's probably a good stage to do a crypto technical analysis episode here for my folks, my friends. So if I just go up to the big screen here, then I can do precisely that. Hello, my friend. I am Rocky Outcrop, and this is technical analysis for cryptocurrencies. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin. We look at Ethereum. We look at Chainlink. We look at Tezos. How about that? Maybe a little glance at Cardano, Luna, Theta. I don't know. The chapters down below will help keep you informed as to what's actually in this video. I'll try and do that. How about that? Good. Right. So let's run the intro clips, and this is the time. This is the moment to say you like the video. It's not actually going to affect you in any way, hitting the like button. It doesn't really affect me either, to be perfectly frank. It's all about YouTube, the YouTube algo wanting that sort of interaction, so you know it's decent value. I see some chat here, by the way, from Drew Saul talking to Katie Babes. Pineapple pizza and barbecue pizza are waiting for you. It's delicious and you will like it. Then eat it with a fork and knife. Ah! Oh my God. Pineapple pizza. I love it. Eating pizza with a knife and fork, that's not my cup of tea. Right, so let's bring up the Bitcoin charts here and start off this little Bitcoin video. Now, it's nice and relaxed, as I type Bitcoin into the chart there, into the thingy. It's BTC USDT. We're going to look at this in the Binance one. That's why I'm putting the T on the end there. And that wedge, well, the wedge seems to have played out a little bit, coming in here, finding support at the 50 simple period on the 4-hour time frame, going on up the way. Got a bit of a double top formation on the go just here. Checking in with the oscillators and seeing that if we do not actually push on past 47 to 48 grand and take that target out, then we will be coming in with some bearish divergence. Is that actually enough incentive for us to go up there and try that? Certainly worth considering. Also worth bearing in mind is, as we extend the lines over to the right of that Fibonacci that I'd drawn on before, that we're right in here at the 1618 golden pocket area, where we of course come up towards the 1618 Fibonacci retracement point. What that means essentially is from the highs that we had on the 1st of August down to the lows that we had on the, let me get the date, the 5th of August, we have then gone up 100% retrace back past that, then on beyond another 61.8%, and that is that Fibonacci number, and it's one of these little areas, you've got to be aware of. There's profit taken in, and it's got this little inflection in the market. Do we actually take out any of these wicks? I feel we close above them on like a 1 hour basis even, fairly small term time frame here in crypto, above that 46,666 level, pushing up above that and closing out there. Then we have the momentum to carry us another bit further on, perhaps with this setup, because we'd be capitalizing off the back of this hidden bullish divergence. We're at that point now where, of course, the lowest risk trade has been satisfied. The bounce off the 50 up to the 1618 in our previous highs yet again, retesting that wedge. And if this was a bullish formation, and we were talking about how this is like coming towards the end of a scenario where it's been downward price action, and we come down, we retest the wedge after having broken out of it and then pushed on up the way, you'd be like, yes, that makes sense. That's bullish type of chat I've seen before. The bearish type of chat is the same story. So then taking a look and carrying this on, I feel like that was a fairly smooth section, nice little bit of TA. Obviously, you're going to have to add to that a little bit in terms of your own perspective, in terms of risk reward. Having gone up here towards the highs on Ethereum at 3,300, not quite 3,300, but 3,290. I hear a donation or something's come in here. Let me just check that real quick and see. Katie Babes, Drew Saul is a pineapple pizza eating Fanny. There we have it. The results are in on that one. And this is Ethereum, right? And of course, we come up towards the top, same sort of story, how we pulled back down towards the 50 simple. Now, what we're seeing in cryptocurrency at the minute is a story where we didn't actually come all the way down towards the 236 Fibonacci retracement. We didn't actually give that a proper test. We came down here to this midpoint. I think failure at this area will see us going and visiting that 236 Fibonacci. That'd be 2,830 here on Ethereum. But of course, continuation at this point leads towards more good stuff up up the way, and the target that I would just simply have for us here in terms of the next movement up the way probably will come in at around about 3,460. That's that 3,500 region. We know about 3,500 as well being a sort of general area as this box exhibits for us. 3,600 being where we actually got gaps on the chart, etc. That kind of area where we eventually put in the blow off top. Rightio, so that's that next target for us. That would be a nice one to be hitting. Of course, if we do see any sort of resurgence towards the negative scenario, then we are looking down towards that zone, managing risk accordingly as well if we did actually push on further down. Maybe at this point here, it might be worth just taking a quick look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, something that I like to do. That's how you get it, ETHBTC. Here we have it as well, saved already on my favorites list, and we're seeing it's consolidating in this region. No, not a surprise there, but we want to see, when we go off to the races, which one actually is the front runner here, the leader of the race. Testing this 50 simple post cross, is that enough? It is a lagging indicator like we talk about, so I wonder, with these highs it's towards the top side, we've come in without bearish divergence, bouncing off the neutral line. Well, maybe we see Ethereum take the run first, Bitcoin up here at this top end. Anyway, whichever one does do it, it's the one first. You can get the feeling that, of course, they're circling around waiting for a leader of the pack to emerge. At this point here, I'm actually going to dive over to take a look at Cardano on El Charterismos. We're 26 minutes past the hour, which means we've been at this for about 6 minutes already. I feel like we're making fairly good progress over here. Having pushed down, we did the same sort of story. Now, this was yesterday's story, I suppose, with regards to what we're seeing with Ethereum, etc., having come down towards the 236, but not actually managed to go as far as that. This ultimately resolving into being that bull flag that we postulated that it could be, and then, of course, it has run towards the top side, taking out that previous high. Now, the bull flag scenario has been great for us, and it's come up into this liquidity zone, and this is where, I call this a liquidity zone, but it isn't really necessarily in terms of significant price action before, but it's certainly somewhere where we're going to find some people taking profits at in this general overall region of the charts right now, as it was in the past, of course, as well. Now, the same sort of negative reminders that we were talking about yesterday, if there is a pullback, taking out those areas, remain the case, and it's actually, probably worth pointing that out even a little bit more clearly today when I'm talking about this one, so that the message is more easily understood, because right now we're, of course, up at those up into that region. If we do push on down past the prior past the inflection point that bull flag created, then of course that is our prior low, and it lines up with the 236, and it fits together now suddenly a bit better. Now, this whole fitting together a bit better scenario could easily remain the case, and as you see here, as I slowly pull this up towards the top end of that zone, that actually then, as soon as the prices do go up there, then the whole pivot point on this market then re-emerges as being at the lower end of that box again, where you'd find that 236. So that's something to be looking at and considering in the here's and now's. The current fact of the matter is that unless we continue to push up the way, then we're going to be experiencing that bearish divergence, as you can see there on the charts down below on the RSI. The RSI showing us that on the 1 hour time frame as well. So, consolidating at this point here, if we do actually then just use that as a way of kind of taking a breather before banging on up the way, fan dabby dozy, and that would explain why there's this hesitancy at this moment in time on the 4 hour time frame before potentially going up there and then, ultimately perhaps setting in some bearish divergence or whatever and coming back for a 236 retrace. If any of these things do happen, bear in mind in terms of percentage movements, that's a 16% move there from the upper end to the lower end of that movement. Again, 16% if you were to go back down towards that prior low and where the bull flag was, and then taking that area out, and then where your next support, etc., we're coming in at, again, another sort of 15% down if you're looking towards that 50% line. So on this one at the minute, you're looking at chunks of 16% as your short of your range. Therefore, anyone trading with leverage at the minute on this one above 5x will be liquidated within the range of movements, whilst potentially still being right in terms of their overall direction. Something to worth bearing in mind when you think about position and risk management along the way. That's Cardano. So let's just move on with a bit of the old Link USDT. Of course, it's bullish, right? Everything is bullish at the moment, and there's a couple of different ways of looking at that. This applies across the board as well in terms of the old crypto markets that we're looking at really in terms of this. Now, I'm going to bring up that object tree again that I've had open earlier on in the show. Remind people that you can do stuff like that to get rid of drawings if you want to get rid of a few at once and you know which ones they are. Anyway, what we're looking at is in terms of that the market's in the summertime there. The summertime. What am I saying? The market's just at this in the springtime there, put in those highs up in May, and then pulled on back down the way significantly. Right now, this is the case in all of the crypto markets. So I'm just using Chainlink here as a way of kind of demonstrating that. But over here, this was a significant one of a 74% decline in prices. I mean, that's enough almost for a whole bear market right there. It was, of course, enough to scare the pants off people, and naturally that happened. So when we're looking at this movement towards the top side again, in terms of the bullish market, this is definitely an example of a world that evolves quicker in crypto land than it does in stonk land. So any sort of sense of like resurgence and recovery really does start to kind of kick in once you go past a couple of real key areas on the Fibonacci retracement for us between those highs and lows. And right now we're in here at $26, $27 having been, $27, $28, in fact, having been that predicted high that we were looking for before. And before we then saw that pullback, came back down to that 50 simple here in the 4-hour time frame. We've got a golden cross, yada yada, and then pushed on up the way. Incidentally, by the way, the 24-hour time frame, we also came up towards the 200 simple as part of that whole process when we put in that $26 high. And that happens to be at the 50% Fibonacci retracement point. Now, the 50% Fibonacci retracement point is showing us between the highs and lows here of the trend where we've come up to, and is as it happens to be at the lows where we were before, experiencing as part of this overall upward trend before, where we had a knot in the markets, and that's where we're currently, finding resistance at the minute, and it all ties together fairly well. Pushing on past that to the 618 is the last resurgence zone that we had after the drop over from the highs. We did make an immediate and very strong recovery all the way back up to $35 and then sank on down ultimately towards $13, having started off the declines at 52 before finding support down there at 15 up to 35 back down again. Wow, those sorts of movements eerily, if not not eerie, but just like reminiscent in general of the movement that we saw in 2017 post 2018, I should say, after the 2017 bull market magnificent rise in Bitcoin. So information here I think that's worth bearing in mind with regards to the market structure and whether or not we're continuing on with a downward trend over the longer course. If this was to actually ultimately turn out like that, then what you'd be looking at would be something that goes along the lines of this: down, up, quite possibly here, lower high, down again, bringing you all the way through to December 2021, where you're finding a $13 Chainlink price before ultimately going on, perhaps from that point to like $100 Chainlink, right? So that's the significance of being in these zones and not successfully moving up. And what we're talking about here is the difference in the prices of Chainlink going up another 30%, and that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's a heck of a lot easier pill to swallow than thinking about things like having to go up 200% to get towards those sorts of targets. And that's what we're kind of still seeing as well in the markets with regards to Bitcoin. So it's, looking at that high down to that low, and where exactly have we come from in regards to, the distance, etc., that we've traversed since. You can see that we're above the 50%. We've gone into the 618 golden pocket. We had a wedge up there at the time, finding resistance, so those are those sorts of things. And then you're obviously looking towards certain different markets out there where you've got like Cardano, which is back up there at its all-time highs again. Not quite, but within that zone that we've already identified as being a liquidity zone. This has got no drawings on this chart really we're talking about, but obviously that's what I'm getting at there on that one. So anyway, just moving on finally and kind of wrapping up this section of the show, perhaps with a look at as we arrive at 3:33 for me, 33 minutes past the hour for all y'all. And we take a look at Tezos here with this chart. Which one is this? Tezos, XTZ, USDT here for us. And then we'll keep this going for another few minutes. We'll be finished here within the next 10, right? At this point, for sure, within the next 10. 5 minutes max, probably. But just a couple of extra sort of ideas. Like, we can see here so clearly in terms of the movements on Tezos that it's a similar story. That we'd be looking towards that zone to take out that area, as we did on the Chainlink technical analysis, from those highs to those lows at the 50% line for that, as opposed to the 618 where that previous high would be. So it's a similar story, but with different levels and different numbers. But you can see us kind of moving along. So some of these markets are ahead of other ones, some of them are behind, but it's always like the same sort of story that we're feeding along with. And at what point could any of them feel failure? Now, if the big ones do the failure down the way, and the better performing ones also fail to put in that new highs, then it's going to feed back down to these lower areas as well. And likelihood you're going to see, you know, a rising tide raising or a falling tide dropping all ships. But you can see that the general sorts of stuff that's happening is obviously going in a very coordinated manner. And here we are at highs of 350 again on Tezos. Now, it was anticipated, talked about. Everybody that doesn't even trade this, that watches the show and sees me talking about this on a regular basis, knew that 350 would be the number that we talk about right now. They knew it. They knew that it would be, or else it would be 330, perhaps a $3 round number. If it wasn't that, it's going to be 298. If it wasn't that, it's going to be down there towards 250 with a scare of 220 down below. And likewise, they know that if it wasn't 350 here, that it was going to be up there towards $4, the round number where the 200 simple is currently, and of course the 50% Fibonacci retracement point is on this one. I mean, that's obviously where that was going to be, and that's that $4 area. Moving on beyond that, then we've got this region up there that comes in at that 460s to $5 region. Again, you know, looking at big movements up. I mean, $4 to $5 is obviously a 25% increase or 30% increase in price or something like that. I say obvious, but you do the math. I don't want it. Anyway, so a couple of little things then as we just finish this bit off, because interesting stuff for you to be aware of in the sense that we can look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, having had this kind of bear flag, if you like, between these points here. Are we seeing a kind of a slow burn alt season then, therefore, and will the big dog die off and Ethereum perhaps fly the flag and keep going bullish, get that Ethereum Bitcoin play going where Ethereum is more, you know, working better than Bitcoin could still go up, but we could see that there's, you know, that there's the lack of the dominance working for us, and this thing could go on to, you know, fulfill the promise of a wedge, a bearish, you know, rising wedge or a bear flag, etc., having just taken out that 50 simple here on the 24-hour time frame. That's a negative scenario though. Where are we right now? I always point this out when we look at patterns. We're within fake out territory. This would just be fake out territory. So actually, until it's taken out 44 again on this one, you know, you've not actually changed anything on that front. And then there's other star performers that I maybe just could do with like a glance at the chart. Theta up here doing really well. Swapping this up to the monthly charts so you can get an idea of how this thing is performing. Really, we've taken out all of the price action all the way back. Wait, Theta, that's the wrong company. That's actually a company called Theta. Wrong thing, Rocky, you fool. But there you have it, monthly chart. You can see actually the better picture that I was going for. So while we've had some shitty price action recently, we know this is a coin which has done exceedingly well in the longer term time frame, you know, over the period of the last year. And of course that's cool because it's got that platform that's set up by the founders of YouTube. But right now we've done it. We came into our magnet territory. Boom, perfect. That's where that is. So perfect, and we're up at the 200 simple. But can we push on up the way? Same story as before, looking to try and get up towards those highs. And another coin then, which has also been performing interestingly, is Luna, for example. Big pullback down here towards that $11, $12 wait, Luna, wrong thing again. Luna USDT. Right. Anyway, yeah, performing differently up here. Wow, $17, fantastic. Did it hit our $18 target? Let me just kind of zoom in here. Did it get it? Yes, $18. Perfect. Well done, everybody. Following along with this trade is something that we've been looking at since, of course, when, I don't know, somewhere down here. Done well, came up towards that $9 target first. Maybe that's when we started looking at it again here in the show. I don't know. I was trading it from down there. Then we did manage to push on up towards our next target in this zone, a $14 zone. Pushed on actually up towards 15, but came in again, got that support around about 12, moved on up towards 17. And yes, we've got a bit of bearish divergence here. We're in a zone which has been, of course, an area where you can see turnarounds at. We're at an area where we've got, of course, you know, previous highs, but as well, this is coming into the all-time highs zone again very soon in this zone for this one. Pullbacks, yep, definitely, certainly would expect to see some pullbacks happening at some point on this one. Does look a bit extended, but we're in this zone and I'm kind of waiting to see what's happening in here. This is kind of, you know, a case of having made it to this point. So well done to everybody watching along. This is, of course, at this time between 18 and above. Great. Who knows what's going to happen? This is where we got to, though, and the risk, of course, of us going way on beyond this is real. It's great. It's there. The risk of that never happening and us dropping down, it seemingly is getting to that higher risk zone point for us for now. Okay, cool. So I think we're done in terms of the crypto technical analysis. Maybe there's other things that people would want to see just real quick as well. XRP, USDT. Let's see how it's doing in the last wee while. Yeah, same story. Boom as well. Liquidity zone up above. Look out for 116 on this one. We're at $1 at the minute. Round number. Could drop back the way if we did. Indeed, I'd be looking to keep my powder dry, as I talked about with Tony earlier on today, until about 81 cents, perhaps as low as 70. Yeah, no, looking at that, I don't think that's unfair to be so rapidly looking at this and talking about the death cross versus, of course, the recent pullbacks. But if you wanted more detail on it, then of course you'd get that by just popping in simple things like Fibonacci, and you can see, yeah, okay, so the 382 down there, typical retrace 91, then I would certainly be waiting for 81 if you wanted to think about it from that point of view. If you were just take out our previous lows, yada yada, do your own TA, learn some more with me, join the Discord, all that good stuff. And yeah, this crypto technical analysis section did last for 19 minutes, a bit longer, quite a bit longer than I intended it lasting for. It's for my sisters and my brothers, all my favorite colors out there within the crypto world. I am Rocky Outcrop, and of course I started doing crypto technical analysis on YouTube, but mostly that was to educate people. Hope you found some value in it. I'll be back again, as ever, as I always am, on the live show. I'm doing a live show right now, and I'm not tuning out of that, so if you're watching the live show, be staying tuned. I'm just saying cheerio to people watching this clip. Nice. Like button, like, cheers. Right, so that was that. I'll upload that probably. Sometimes I don't do it because I look back and think it sucked, or whatever. But probably upload that to the channel, and let's check in with our pals. How's GME getting on here? Whoa, typed that in wrong. How's GME getting on here for us? 159.88. Cool. Okay, it's not changed. It's not changed. It's just really where it was again at this line. So over the last wee while, and it'll be no surprise to you, I'll just drop down to the 15-minute time frame, so you can see here hitting the completely the wrong button by accident, and that's annoying. Go away. There we go. Hitting the auto button to stretch that out a wee bit. And here we can see, yep, just that this is just, it's just the same. It's just the same. We're going to go back up and try until we've broken that story. If you can describe the story that's happening right now with GME by saying, yeah, cool, love what you're saying and everything, but it's either 165, 160, 155, or 150 at the minute before we know what's really going on. If you can't say that, so long as you can say that to describe the story, things ain't changed overall. That's where we are with this one, right? And so what we want to see is for obviously us to end the day above 160, because then that's a slight change to that story, for example. Over here on AMC, the same thing really applies. You can say when we're below 32, it sucks, right? But we're down there and looking at previous support and the 30 round number aspect, and the 29 where we were at before, we're still above that. This is a higher low, yada yada, 236 Fibonacci. All that chat in there, following on from this bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame, and the higher low, etc., that we've got on the 4 hour, etc., as we look at it. So yes, so that's what we're looking at. It's just an interesting little dynamic that it's right there on the 1 hour to be seen, but we've not managed to take out our prior highs, and we're waiting for that dynamic to change. So you could say from a slightly broader perspective on AMC, until such times as we're not put in a higher high as yet and tested the 200 simple on the 1 hour time frame up towards that $38 price point and actually closed out something higher than say $37, then the story hasn't really changed in terms of what's going on just here, because we're putting in lower highs along the way, and of course this has a lower low so far. But we've got all of the setup that we need on things like the 15-minute time frame to be looking at us and saying, yep, we're turning things around. Low, high, higher, low. We're on the way, so for instance, on the 4 hour time frame to say, yep, we can start to turn this around. We got this high. It had to fill in that gap. It did it immediately. Came back down, retested this sort of general zone, found support. It's been green candles ever since. There's been funny positioned green candles as we've had like intraday overlap of day price action that's kind of pushed us around from one pillar to post. But overall, that's just simply how it is. There's a sort of slightly kind of manipulative price action here with that gap that got filled in, which is up from 37. It wasn't manipulative. It's just the event psychology that goes around earnings, and that it's kind of worth staying not trading during that. By the way, as well, if you're a lot of sort of proprietary trading, prop trading desks, etc., these types of things will often say that you have to close your positions over earnings. That don't like you having open positions, or indeed a lot of guides for the aspiring trader would say just don't trade over earnings, etc. And that's precisely why right there, as we're looking to try and see if we can put in a bottom, which could be the case, which does indeed actually have bullish divergence. It's still on the 4 hour when it's below when you just look between those 2 points there. So I'll just actually take away that sentence and just say look for the bullish divergence because it's there. Right, that's where we are with those ones. As we hit 45 after, I will be wrapping up the show within the next 15 minutes. So any of y'all that were looking to get me to do some TA on something, then just know that it's a case of getting your sort of requests in now. And all that stuff. I'm just opening up my Streamlabels thing to see if I haven't missed out on any donation chat, you know. Wolfbrook Doomslayer, you donated $4.99 via Super Chat, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks very much for that. Bad Mama Jama donated through Super Chat. Want to play a game? You ask 5 questions. Any questions, chat can answer right after each question. A present will come. All right, okay. Bad Mama Jama wants to play a game. There might be some present at the end of it. Who knows? I can ask questions. I can see any questions, right? Just any questions. Chat can answer them, and there'll be a present at the end, right? Cool. Okay, so we'll do that. Bad Mama Jama, a bit of fun in the chat. Nice one. Cool. A bit of fun. Excellent. By the way, thanks so much to Apple Blossom who donated. Just a tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. Woo! Blushing, blushes. Thanks for that, Apple. Very nice of you. Apple, I am not a cat as well donated earlier on saying you are muted, and I did appreciate that at the time. Right, so Dan Erst has asked us to take a look at Naked. Here's the first question, right? Anybody can answer it. It's one stock, just one stock. What do you want to take a look at? Anyone can answer it. It's not a poll. I'm not going to put a poll out there. We already have an answer in from Dan Erst. One stock, any stock that you'd like to take a look at all. Chuck your suggestions in there. That'll be the first question. Second question will be pineapple on pizza, question mark. I think we already know how most people feel about that pineapple on pizza is of course the correct way to go, but I'm going to create a poll right here. Pineapple on pizza yes or no, right? And ask your community, right? So we've got a poll up there. So you can also add your feelings on that one. We can at least get to know where this particular community stands on the greatest question of our time. CC says, Rocky, I've got my Smarty pants on. That's good. We've got suggestions coming in from people such as UPST. There was, of course, Dan Ernst wanting to take a look at Naked. And let's just see if there's been anything else out there. Just UPST and Naked. All right, okay. Dink jumped in with a Naked Fanny fan. So that's another one. A couple of questions. CLF, AMD. Right, cool. Okay, sweet. So let's just see if we could do that for 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Thanks for your suggestions, people. So let's just see. We've got like AMD, right? What did AMD look like? Okay, it's up, pulled back, moved up a little bit. That's good. Came in without bearish divergence. That's good. 4 hour time frame, looking pretty good. Good, nice solid trend in price action on this one. Trend's your friend. Bullish on this. That looks pretty good. Obviously, pay yourself at 122 or so, probably 120 or 118 or so to keep things going. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Managing risk as well with any movements down past 104. Wouldn't like to be in that. I'd be looking for a better buy 87 if we break 104. Let's see as well. There's another one that's coming in, SPRT, as just now. So we just have a look at that. Whoa, we pushed up and gapped up above that and then came back down, gapping down there. Will take us down past our previous highs. That's where the 1618 Fibonacci is again, by the way, for folk who are interested in just like, you know, important Fibonacci numbers. You do see inflection and support at the 272, the 1272, another one to look out for. Oh, so frequently on this, the pullback down the way, you know, are we going to test this gap? It's at 815. If we don't, then it's the same sort of scenario we're looking at that happened on the Plantier Technologies. Same sort of scenario. Now, it's not like one's following the other. It's just the same sort of scenario. If we're actually going to find this, you know, operating as support, I'm going to expect it to kind of operate around about those sorts of lines, looking up towards $12 before an eventual retrace back down the way. If the bulls have it and they have that momentum, we're waiting for that to see if that's the case. If it isn't the case, then of course, naturally, we're going back down to that 830 area. There was other ones that came in there as well, because of course, the first one that that came in was naked. So I'll just chuck naked up on the chart there as well. Naked. And that was okay. So we've got this movement down the way here, and we're still waiting for this to resolve. This is kind of not too different to the to, of course, like things like that other chart that I looked at recently, Sundial, for example, where we've come down, we're in this zone, we're consolidating. Are we filling up the rocket? You know, is this actually all going into the rocket so that we can go to the moon? Is that what this is? Is this refueling the rocket at this stage or not? It would be a nice market bottom for us to find, you know, from the downtrend that started in June up until July, retraced up a chunk, managed to do okay on that front so far without actually pushing past the key areas that we need to. If you were to actually just draw this in sort of body to body instead, then what you'd be looking at would be, of course, that we are still, yeah, as well, just the same sort of scenario. That's exactly the same sort of place. So we really do need to see the prices taking out 56 cents on this one. Yeah, while we're below 60, I suppose from a lot of broad term point of views, it's not that brilliant. But above 60 cents, then things start to look. Then we're singing. It's good. We're doing well again. Pointing out, we did see, if you were watching that Chainlink episode earlier on, that, you know, obviously there's this sort of general potential for this to be a big old descending triangle in that area. More inclined to think about it from the point of view of it being the right hand side of the head and shoulder. So you've got that shoulder, that head, that shoulder, and you've got your general neckline in here. And because of the range here, the percentage movements on this thing are so vast that, you know, that even to get up into this general area, you're looking at a greater than 100% increase in the price. That the trading has got a micro and a macro here, and it's that sort of the general relativity versus like quantum physics type thing, you know, like that's the cut over here. So when we zoom on in, we get caught up in the minutia of it, and when we zoom back out, we talk about the big macro potential in this one. We're kind of waiting for this to see. Going to be a lot more excited about 56. There was another one that came in as well, that was during the time that I was asking. So I don't know, I will just do one last one here at this point. We've covered off what Dan Erst asked for. I'm just looking to see if I see anything that jumps out in terms of tickers. UPST, please. That was one of them. UPST. So we'll take a look at that. What is this? Upstart Holdings Inc. Okay, come in for a high here. It's not divergent. We've got a big gap staring us in the face. $200 here. Just had a cross. 4-hour time frame. Just had a cross. What were we on the 24? Because it won't be there, but the visible here for us. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So 1-hour time frame then, and there was that. We've did retest it immediately. The cross happened right at the moving average, so that was interesting for us. And now we could come in for a cross again. You know what, actually, pineapple and pizza wins for everybody that's interested. 72% of the vote said yes. 72% of the vote said yes. Chat answered right on that one. Well done, chat. That's the score. So we've got 3 questions left for chat. What could we have? So there's the results coming in there. It'd be cool to do these as polls. Here's a question for chat then, I suppose, asking what should Jamie do for a segment on the show? Like what should Jamie's segment be? I think he might even have a segment for me today, but I think I might save it to play at a different time because they're so great to have, and I'm already at the end of the show. So let's just chuck a few options out there. Jimmy's segment could be, for instance, on guys in the chat, right? Guys and girls, here's another question for you: is some things that you would like, right? Throw out some suggestions. I need 3. I'm going to be putting them into the thing. So there's a question for you. What would you like? And it's the same question again. It'll be coming up as a poll in a second. So anything that you like. I mean, simple examples of this so far. We've already looked at the No Sure Thing indicator, looked at the RSI indicator. So ideas that are out there are things like Ichimoku Cloud and moving averages, etc. Now, I myself have to make a moving averages segment for Jamie, so I'll be doing that before we wrap up the show, I suppose, as well. But let me know, what do you think? Those sorts of examples, and I'll write them in here. I'll write the first 3 that I see coming up here for us. So So get them in. I'm waiting for them if there's going to be. So moving averages, I'm doing moving averages as well. Maybe we could get Jimmy to do it as well. I see Fanny of the Fan and Fanny Harbor coming in as well. Not too sure if I'm going to get a Fanny Madness, Fanny Squad, Nazis on the Fanny. So Raiders of the Lost Fanny. Yeah, Fanny's Endgame. That was a really good Fanny's Endgame. Early in there with that one. That was really driving Miss Fanny. Yeah, no, those aren't options for the poll, by the way. Sorry, who is that out there? Right, yeah, no, people are. This is Game of Fannies. Right, that's it. People aren't actually listening to me right now. They're just enjoying the Fanny chat. That's fine. Options, strategies, how he considers the Greeks. Right, the Greeks. Right, I'm just putting it down as the Greeks as one. Another one is options strategies. Now that would be like each thing that you could say, and that would be like a 20-minute video in and of itself, but I'm sure you could list some options strategies and just talk about that, give you something to look at. It would be too much detail to actually tell you how they work or anything, but you could be like, hey, yo, Iron Condor, etc. Bollinger Bands, did he do Bollinger Bands already? Is that one that he did? I think he did that on my show. That was the first one, but we could do that. We can add these in again. We can do them again, you know. The Fanny Velocity Indicator, that's a good one. Lawrence of Fanny, yes. Katie Babes is apologising. It's okay, I know. There's a rebellion out there. There's the Fanny rebellions happening out there. Fanny Park, yep, that's a good one. One of my favourite films is We've Got to Talk About Fanny. That was another good one I liked as well. American Fanny. That's always good. American Fanny is a good one as well. GME segment should be Fibonacci explanation. Right, okay, or add in another, so like a Fibonacci explanation. Right, there we go, Fib explanation. So there we have 3 entries. There we have it. Add option, ding, ding, ding. No, not add option, just take that off. Take that off. I can't unadd an option. Well, screw it. I'll just have to add another one in. If I put Fannies on there, it's going to get way too many votes. So I need another. Anything on Fibs, please. Keep an eye on the labs. I missed the 9 because I was behind. Wait, what? Did I miss something? Oh shit, man. You said $160 and thing. It didn't come up on my screen at the time because I was reading chat. Sorry, man. Wow. Wowee. $160 from Bad Mama Jamma. Holy smokes, man. Thanks so much for that. Well, pineapple isn't for me, but it may be for Rocky. There's 1 question answered. Now, questions 2. Right, yeah, right, okay. Keep an eye on the labs, man. Thanks so much for that. Jesus Christ, man. Thanks so much for that. Moving Fanny average. Yeah, no, one last one. World War Fanny. Yep, of course. That's a favourite around these parts. Fanny Call, 12 years of Fanny. 12 years of Fanny, yeah. The 40-year-old Fanny. How about that one? Chalkwork Fanny. God Christ. Do videos with 3 parts, beginners, intermediate, and advanced levels. Yeah, best day ever. I'm still looking for 1 more option so I can kind of close this thing out here. Maybe I can get rid of it somehow. I'll just choose one myself then instead because, you know. How about then? I don't want to add in support and resistance because I think he's already done that. So we could talk about the Donchain channels. Great. Okay, there we go. Donchain channels. There we go. There's something that is similar enough to the Bollinger Band suggestion that somebody else made. I'm spelling it wrong. I don't care. Similar enough to Bollinger Bands, but it's slightly different. So there's 4 decent options for people. You can vote away on that one if you like. By the way, thank you so much for Katie. Thank you, Rocky. Have a lucky Friday the 13th. Way brilliant. Okay, here's another question for you. Who out there in the audience would consider themselves to be superstitious? Let me know. Are you superstitious? Are you not superstitious? Today's Friday the 13th. So this is a really good time to ask that question. Does that mean anything to you? Will you be looking out when you walk underneath a ladder today? Will you be, checking everything twice in your house before you leave it? Have you turned off the oven? What is it going to be for you today Or is it just any other day that annoys fannies? Is superstition for fannies or not? I suppose you could say is the thing. So you can answer that one if you want, right? Interesting stuff. Let's see though. Get your votes in on the poll for Jamie's segment. So far, at the minute, we have one pushing out in front at 33% fib explanation. Got Donchin Channels coming in with 27% of the votes. The Greeks with 27% of the votes. Oh my goodness, there is certainly demand out there. 26% now on the Greeks. It's dropped a little as fib explanation gets another push up the way. Seems like there's good demand for all of those though. Real nice to see a split. 24%, 16%, 29%, 31%. Wow, Donchin Channel taking the lead there. Taking the lead on that poll. Be sure to get your votes in. It's obviously so neck and neck that anybody's vote would change the situation. As I see results coming in here from the other question. Wow, 2 girls, 1 Fanny. Well, yeah, totally. Deep Fanny. That was another good one. Anytime you like after the... Yeah, so cool. I'm a little superstitious, says Nacho. Interesting stuff. Almo, return of the Fanny. I'm a little superstitious, says Alex Baker. So we've got a little and a little in there. I'm not superstitious, says Katie Babes, but I still knock on wood for the funsies. Cool, nice one. Sometimes, says Kim Robbins, not superstitious, but a little stitious, says Minner, capitalizing on that spelling mistake that came in earlier on. FU Money says that he's not superstitious. If ghosts exist, they have feelings too. Just be cool and they will too. Interesting philosophy on that one. Interesting philosophy on that one indeed. Right? I've been known to knock back up and turn around when a black cat walks in front of my car. Well, there we go. That's superstition for you right there. Depends on the superstition, says Wilfred Zimslayer. Suppose so. Suppose so. I suppose so on that one. That's good to know. I'm kind of wondering then with people, if we're talking about that there superstition and then FU Money brought up ghosts. I wonder in the audience there, are any of yous ever had a night terror, or do you know the situation, if you've ever seen like that movie, The Haunting of Hill House, for example, like the wee lassie in it has them all the time. So like if you know, have you ever had one of those? You wake up in the middle of the night, you're not really awake in the sense that your body is completely paralyzed and you can't do anything. You can't speak, you can't do anything, but you can kind of like look and there's something terrifying happening and you can't do anything to defend yourself or anything at all. You can't react, and it's all definitely happening in front of you because your brain can see it. Because kind of the truth is that really you're still asleep and you're seeing this augmented reality type dream, or shit, who knows, the night terror is real, who knows, superstitious and ghosts and all the rest of it, who knows, right? I've had one. I've had a night terror once. I had one, and it was intense because I didn't properly believe that they existed before I had one. Right? Didn't believe they existed. I thought it was kind of just bullshit. But turns out, right? They do exist. Turns out they exist. So I woke up in the middle of the night. And I was visiting my mum in a sleepy village in the countryside, and everything was pure quiet all around. The neighbours can hear the drop of a pin in the house, etc., and all that sort of stuff. And there's me waking up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't do anything. And there was this horrible vision in front of me of a evil sort of killer, definitely about to murder me in my sleep. And then when I regained my ability to actually move and speak and whatever, I opened my mouth and I went, "Fuck off!" Yeah, I wasn't. It was like scary, but of course. But how do you deal with being scared? Well, I told the thing in my face to fuck off. It worked. It fucked off. It was replaced shortly after with my mum running into the room, having woken her up at 5 a.m. or whatever, coming in. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Who are you telling to fuck off? You know, as I was raging at this ghost to get the fuck out. Anyway, yeah, that happened. So they do exist, right? Yeah, one flew over one Fanny over the cuckoo's nest. See what you did there, Katie Babes? That's proper funny. I'm super used to it now. I'm just like the GD, not again, and then I feel sick and can't move. Wonder what that was. So yeah, Fanny Busters. Funny Mamba. Yeah, that sleep paralysis thing. That's what I'm talking about. Wonder if anybody's had that. I've had it. Rocky, I'm superstitious about dark pools. Well, yeah, I think we're all superstitious about dark pools. That's horrifying, but probably exactly how I would wake up reacting. Lamau. Yeah, I know, isn't it funny? It's funny because I didn't know how I would react even if I ever had one of these things. And it's it's nice to look back and think that I'm not the type to wake up in the night and be like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Instead, I'm the type to wake up and go, come on, let's get the fucking into this fucker who's trying to scare us. I'll kick your fucking head in, you stupid ghost Fanny. Right, so that was how I reacted. Yay, nice one. So we've got another question. We've got the poll. I think the poll here is done. Fib explanation has managed to steal it at the death. We got a pretty good number of votes in there. There's concurrent viewers here at the minute, 158. There's only 92 votes. There's more than enough votes left to completely swing that. I'm going to leave it for 1 minute. If you want to get a vote in on that and actually push it one way or the other, you totally could. Every vote matters. Fib explanation is up there at 32%. Donchin channels at 29%. It's really a race between those two at the moment. Option strategies doesn't have it in it, and it would take an awful lot of you remaining voters out there to push it all the way up to 150. So anyway, it looks like we're coming to an end of that one at the end. Come at me, bro. That's it, man. That's it. Fib explanation just got another one and another one with 34. Looks like the final votes coming in there are pushing it up. Let's end the poll. Fib explanation is the winner on that one. So we've done a couple of questions here, and we've still got a couple to go because Bad Mama Jama asked us to do just that. I'll move myself back up to the big screen so that the charts aren't there distracting us all, making us think that I might actually do some TA in the next couple of seconds, because it's probably not going to happen. And we could ask another question. Ask another question out there for people. So I want to know more about the audience as ever. I really do, and I want to know more about where you're at, etc. So I think that one easy way of doing it, which would really let everybody know without revealing where necessarily you are, is you could tell me what time zone you're in at the minute. So what time zones have we got in the audience right now? It'd be cool to know. Obviously, I'm in BST, the best time zone in the world. Beast mode is what they call it. It's British summertime. I really, prefer BST to GMT, if I'm perfectly honest. I wish they'd just keep it like this way round all year round, but it is what it is. What time zone are you in? And have you noticed that I've been holding on to this sandwich all day? Yes, it is. I'm definitely hungry. I'm definitely planning on eating this thing. If you were watching Tony's stream earlier on, you saw me have a couple of sneaky bites of it. I'm going to eat it. It's going to be it. I'm going to send you a link to play if chat can answer who it is. I'll have a nice gift. Well, okay, right, man? If it's on Pandora, I can't play it. That's the thing. I was going to tell you this morning, man. If it's on Pandora, I can't play it. Look them up on the Tube or something like that, or Spotify, or whatevs. But Pandora, I'm sorry, it doesn't work in your country, which is annoying because I'm pretty sure it used to. No, I'll not talk with my mouth full. Temptation on the rise there, though. Eat it, says people. Yes, we've got the time zones coming in. So there actually are some PST people out there. I love my pissed family over there in the Pacific time zone. I mean, that's crazy that you're here right now. Very early for you still, even at this late stage in the day for myself. So thanks so much. Just as we tick past 4 o'clock in my time, we also see that we've got various different ones out there. CST, EST, BST, brah, good to see you, Cala Pigeon. EST from Tubes, nice one. And then Worth His Life is in there with Mountain Time. Fantastic time, one that doesn't get anywhere near enough shout-outs. Who else lives in Mountain Time? Peter Brandt lives in Mountain Time, up there, Rocky Mountain Time. That's fantastic. It's good stuff. I love a bit of Mountain Time myself. Peter Brandt, one of the guys I like to talk about, who is a fairly inspirational old man, is Peter Brandt. JCI5M3. It's only 8 a.m. lol. I wake up at 4 to 5 a.m. What a legend. My goodness. It's the Da Vinci waking hours, man. The Da Vinci waking hours. So, right. It's a YouTube link says Bad Mama, and I can just dive on over. I'll not do it publicly just in case, you see all the naked pictures that me and Bad Mama Jama send each other in the naked chat. And the naked, that's what we call it. That's what we call it. It's the direct chat. But we call it naked chat, or something like that. Right. Yeah, is it? Wait, man, is it this thing about the best minimal effort chicken parmesan? Was it minimal effort chicken parmesan that you sent me? Is that what I'm to put on? Minimal chicken parmesan, minimal effort chicken parmesan. Just checking with the chat there again, see if that's exactly what Bad Mama Jamma was wanting me to put on, or if it's just him talking about what he's having for lunch. Hey, Rocky, Nashville in the house. Good one, and welcome, Nashville. That's obviously a lot of people's pilgrimage type destination, that one. BMJ says it's a YouTube link. Thanks, Katie Babes. Yeah, but is it this one? Is it this one, man? I've got it up on screen. No, I don't have it up on screen, so you can't tell me if it's this one. Let me just sort that out. Is it this dude here? Your dude? Is this what we're going to be putting on? I thought it was a song. It's nice having this little bit of relaxed, entertaining times with people, by the way. I don't really normally do this, and it's really a good load of fun. So thanks very much, Baba Majama, for inspiring this. The hills have fannies, says Tradesbon. That's another good one. The Fanny Father. Is that another one? It's probably been said already. Drag me to Fanny. There's another good one. Drag me to I added that one. I'm laughing at myself there. This is him. Right, cool, nice one. Let's see what he's got to say about chicken parmesan.
And this episode, I really couldn't think of anything to make, so I asked all my friends. Said, "Oh, you should do chicken parmesan. Everybody loves that." Here's the thing.
Audio not coming through, so I can see it. I'm on the ball today. Johnny on the ball here today, definitely. So don't panic. I've got it. I'm gonna sort it out. Where's my that hide it? No, there it is. This is him who is now brilliant. And play.
Chicken parmesan.
Is that coming
chicken
through?
Parmesan is the.
Let me know if it's coming through.
Going to a comedy club and seeing an.
Okay. Did you hear noise? It's coming through, he says. Brilliant, sweet, excellent, nice one. Then I can play it. Thanks very much. It just doesn't show up the levels on my Streamlabs. Streamlabs being a wee bit annoying for me recently.
Greetings,
it's full
YouTube.
of bugs.
Once again, it is I, your dude.
Hi.
And this episode, I really couldn't think of anything to make, so I asked all my friends. Said, "Oh, you should do chicken parmesan. Everybody loves that." Here's the thing about chicken parmesan. Chicken parmesan is the equivalent of going to a comedy club and seeing an improv show. And of course, there's going to be that one guy there, an accountant by day, no less, who just is completely blowing it because he was told to pretend that he had a personality. So he throws something out there stupid like, "Okay, we're going to need a word from the audience. What's the funniest word you can think of?" And of course nobody says anything because they just want him to fucking shut up. And he's like, "Okay, well, I think I hear somebody saying avocado out there. Oh, avocado's a funny word. Let's go with that. All right." And it's like, dude, this is fake.
He's in our Discord.
You're killing me, and you get
Who is it?
And that is what you
Sauce Food Cart, maybe?
As far as videos go, I mean,
is
you
it
could
Sauce
eat it
Food
all
Cart?
day long, so whatever. This
Who
one
is this
just
guy?
going to be
This is
the
cool.
least effort chicken parmesan that you will ever make.
Who is this?
So, first things first.
Who is it?
Use panko breadcrumbs because
right.
that's too
Oh wait,
much
no,
effort.
don't tell us, Bad
It's a
Mama.
little bit
We have to
but
guess.
This is all about saving.
Hold on. Chat, get your guesses in there, right? Get your guesses in there. Who is this guy? He's in our chat. He's a part of our community, unless the answer's already out there, right? And it's been said. Dude, where's my Fanny? Oh, look at that. Cockroach Rancher and Apple Blossom coming in with the same guess at the same time. Great minds. Wow, what amazing there. Sally Mander saying, really digging the new format this week. Thanks for being awesome, Rocky. Runs around the room smacking all your fannies. Sal, I hate to break it to you. And no doubt to half the audience at the minute. In America, a fanny is a bottom. In the UK, a fanny is a front bottom. Just so you know. Anyway, Charlie and the chocolate fanny. Yeah, no, we had that one earlier on. Yeah, if you've got your guesses in, we've got a guess coming in. Trades one says Dober Mamba. FU Money says guess Sauce Food Cart. That was my guess as well. I went with Sauce Food Cart. Kirsty Callaghan's coming in with Sauce Food Cart. Could it be? It'd be interesting if it was. If it isn't, then I don't know. Like, that's cool. At least it's. I don't know. I don't know if it means. I don't know what it means if we get it right or wrong. I don't really know. That's quality though, that we can have a guess. Come on, anybody else can have a wee guess in there. Bad Mama Jamma, you can reveal the answer to this whenever you want, really, man. So let us all know.
So
I'll play him a bit more.
What we're going to use instead is shake and bake.
Shake and bake, good man.
Shake and bake beef. You're
That's
in
right.
for a treat. It's what us poor folk use a lot. And we're going to make one small concession. We're going to use an egg wash.
Okay.
To moisten the chicken. The shake and bake instructions say that your chicken must be moistened. It does not say in which medium it must be moistened. Moist. So, your egg wash is going to be 1 egg, a little bit of water. Mix that up until it's nice and frothy. And then we will go on to cutting the chicken.
American chicken breast.
Chicken, you are going to...
It's like, you can imagine the size of that chicken it came off of.
Into thin pieces.
Veritable
instead
monster.
of pounding out with a mallet because we don't have time to make...
Jeez, bigger than your hand. Yeah, no, you have to shop around if you want to find chicken breast that big in Europe, man. America's
if you want
fucked.
to get your aggression out, more power to you. I don't know what else to say besides just fucking cut it thin. And...
Or fucking cut it thin and get on with it.
It's too big, cut it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy. You're going to make sure that your oven is set to 400 degrees. And you're going to start getting your shake and bake ready.
That's what I'm saying, Tradespawn. That chicken that breast came off of must have been a fucking dog. A dog chicken.
Blow your mind.
This is me, guys. I admit it's me, says Harriet.
In it are some
Who is it? Who are you?
and
Fed up with
some
cooking.
Bags.
Who are you?
The contents of the package.
Glad to be able to call you my friend,
Into
Sally.
the
Dober
bag.
Mamba. Thanks. Is it you, Dober Mamba?
Right.
Is it you, Dober?
know.
Is it you? Jamie's
But-
guess. Was it you?
Is in the bag. You're just going to dip your chicken pieces into the egg wash, put them into the bag, give yourself a little bit of air, and then shake the bag.
And bake
That's
the fuck.
first part of the name shake. And
Yeah.
then after that,
You bake it.
let's pace ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not
Just
get ahead of
continue
ourselves,
to
man.
do
You're
that
right.
Until you're out of
Take it
chicken.
easy.
Or you're out of bag.
That, by the way, another thing
Material.
for the Americans that are watching this, going, yes, that looks totally normal. To the UK viewer, that egg is like, okay, that's not what it looks like when we scramble our eggs.
Once all of your chicken has been breaded, you put it on a pan. And here
Get
we
on
go
the
to
pan.
the second part of the instructions. In the name, you bake it.
Oh my god!
Wow.
No way!
Wowie, wow, wow. Who
No
would've
way!
thought? So your oven's at 400. Put the chicken into the oven. This is rocket science.
This is that.
Your mind is being blown. Once that's going, we're going to cut a cubic inch of butter because
That's like how the butter works in this country, but we don't do sticks. You call them sticks. We do blocks.
measuring is stupid, and that's enough. We're going to throw it in a pan, and we're going to add vegetables of your choice. I went with broccoli.
Fucking the salt. Good to see you put salt in there, man.
Now, some of you out there might be saying, well, we should use pasta. Well, that might take a little bit more time and a little bit more attention, a little bit more effort, and we're going for low effort. So My show, my rules. Deal with
Man,
it. We're going
you're
to
making
set that
broccoli.
on low heat.
Anybody yapping
So
about
butter
effort
doesn't
can
burn,
fuck off.
And we're just going to let those things go.
Yeah, just let them
while we
go.
wait for the chicken. After about 20 minutes, you're...
Man, they should be thanking you for not just sticking the broccoli in the oven with it. That's what there should be going on. You could have just stuck that in the oven, but you didn't. You chose to fry it.
going to pull the chicken out of the oven.
Oh right. Oh no, I've got him up on my
carefully
screen. I wasn't paying attention to the lab
your
crap. Bring this lab crap
Parmesan
back up
cheese.
again.
Just
It did.
kinda make sure that it's
It
coated,
did.
but not so much
Did it?
that the cheese is
Oh, right. Earlier on, it did, man.
Because the more on the tray, the more you have to clean up later.
Cheers, bad mama. Earlier on, it
So
did.
they're all coated. Throw them back into the oven. Let them go a little bit longer until your cheese is melted. This is mind blowing. Next, you will get a saucepan out and put your tomato sauce in there. It can be a marinara, a ragu, a bolognese. It doesn't matter. Just whatever you enjoy. But this is going to be the
Is this sauce food cart or is it Double Mamba? You're saying that.
moisture.
I think it might still be Double Mamba. Double Mamba chucked in that $25 earlier on and said it's good to be your friend. And was that him saying that's who it is? Who is it, damn it? Who is this? Who is she?
For the dish. So make sure whatever tomato sauce it is. You
Me heading
quite
definitely
enjoy
drunk by
tasting.
this point.
We'll heat that up, and then once the cheese is melted, pull the chicken out of the oven. With a plate, we will put our broccolini right on the bottom, put our chicken parmesan on top. We will give a spoonful of your hot marinara,
Or two.
tomato sauce, whatever,
Yeah.
and then sprinkle that with some more Parmesan cheese because art. And there you go. One whole chicken Parmesan. Easy peasy. And I hope that I never have to do chicken Parmesan ever again.
Good work, man. Good work, buddy. It's definitely not Double Mamba. Right. Okay. No, it's not me. Not me. I would be happy to say so. And it's not me. Haha. I wonder who that man is. Who is that man? Who is that man? I simply must find out who that man is. Who is the man? And what is he doing here? If it's not Scottish. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Who just said that? Totally. Retweeted. Excellent. How are you doing over here, USPT? I'm not supposed to be looking at you. $200. Nice round number. Got right to the $200. I mean, $200, I think, is the psychological impact of that's probably quite a big deal. Anyway, I'm not doing that at the minute. That's not what I'm doing at the minute. It's not what I'm doing. Doing something else. Doing something else. No, doing something else. Right. Ha, big screen again. Okay. Chat. How many questions am I due to do now? I think I've done 3 of them. I've got a couple of questions left to do. Did you hear your thing, Jimmy, you're supposed to do? Oh shit, I was supposed to do a segment for Jimmy. Screw it. Can you just, if you don't mind, I'll just do that now. Okay. I'm making a segment here. Hi friends, I'm Rocky Outcrop. Jamie is my brother, Tradespawn, and we do technical analysis, and I'm here to... Oh, no, fuck it. He'll be playing me during the show, so instead it should sound more like this. Hi friends, that's me, Rocky Outcrop, here to keep you entertained, pardon me, and can't do that at the start of the thing. That's just rude. And it should be on the wrong screen. Gosh, I'm so bad at this. Hi friends, I'm Rocky Outcrop, here to entertain and educate about moving averages. That's right, we're going to be looking at moving averages. I am Tradespawn's brother, Rocky Outcrop. You'll find me on the YouTube if you go looking for me. Seek and ye shall find, and it's good quality content. Over here, what we have is a chart, and on that chart there's these big lines. One of them is blue and one of them is white, and they're both moving averages, and I'm here to talk about what they are for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. So what are moving averages, what are they used for, and and more and more. All those details coming up. So for the first second or two here, what is a moving average? Well, it's just you're taking the price. The price of this chart at the minute is up there at $200, and you're adding that number with all of the other prices over the last period that you choose, and you're dividing it by that number to come up with an average. And then every time a new candle comes on, you update the calculation and draw on where the average keeps going. That's essentially what it is. Now, there's two different types. You've got simple and exponential, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But these two here, they're the 50 and the 200 simple period moving average. And I'm looking at it, I should be on the 24-hour time frame here. Looking at the 24-hour time frame because this is where you'd often find, there isn't on that chart. Let's bring up a chart with more history. GME, for example. This is where you would often find things like the golden and death crosses. So the 24-hour time frame you can see here, we had a golden cross on GME back in the 2nd of September 2020. What that means is that the shorter period moving average overtook the longer period moving average. So what's this concept of periods then that you're talking about, Rocky? Well, the ones that I have up at the minute, that's the blue and the white line, they're actually 50 and 200 periods, right? So 50 simple moving average is 50 periods. So it doesn't mean 50 daily. It doesn't mean on this chart, which is the daily chart or the 24-hour chart. Here's the daily chart. That is the 50 daily moving average. But when I change to the 3-hour chart, for example, that is not the 50 daily moving average. That's the 50 3-hour moving average. That's a distinction that a lot of people don't really realize. So you'll find people sometimes say, yes, on the 1-hour chart, we're just about to hit off of the 50-day moving average. And you're like, really? Did you actually take it? So you took you went 24 times 50, and that's is 1,000 and some, and 1,200, and then you made this into 1,200 period, and that's what you're using. No, that's not. They're just saying the word wrong. That's what's going on there. So this is periods, and that's a distinction that's worth knowing. And we're halfway through this thing already. So what's the difference between an exponential and a simple? When an exponential moving average adds greater weight to the most recent price action. So you'll see differences in how they look. So you can show you that really quickly here by just taking off the 200. I'll leave only the blue line on there, that 50, and I'll put on a yellow line, and that yellow I'll make 50 as well. So this is an exponential moving average, and there is also a simple moving average on the charts there. And if I zoom on in and in and in and in and in, you can see that they're different, even though one's, they're both the number 50. And that's because at any given time in this calculation, it's adding more weight to the moving average here, the exponential moving average, more weight from the recent price action, which I mean a lot of people says it hugs the price action closer, it moves closer, it responds quicker, it's quicker, a quicker moving average, both the same numbers because it's exponential. So that's what you've got there, and you can see that they also cross over each other, and to an extent you could even use that as an indicator. So how do you use this thing as an indicator? There's a few different ways. One of them is by looking at crosses. Now I talked about that already with the 200 and the 50 crossing, and that being called the golden cross or the death cross, depending on if it's positive or negative. Well, you can do that with any combination of them. Really what you're looking for though, unlike what I have here where I've got two of the same length, it's just different types, what you're really looking for is to combine shorter and quicker period moving averages. So that's kind of what I do so often, and that's why I have so many different ones up on my screen. So if I just chuck this back down to a small number, so then I can pop them all back on here. So that's 9, 18, 36 and 54 in terms of those numbers, and then I've got 50 and 200. So I've got those exponential moving averages, and I've got these simple moving averages. Now you can see that there's crosses all over the place, so it's kind of a case of choosing a couple yourself, and you can use a third moving average, a longer one over a greater period of time, to give you a qualifier. For example, if you're above the 200 simple period moving average, then conditions are considered to be bullish, which means as a trader you're looking to take longs. If you're below it, conditions are considered to be bearish and you're looking to take shorts. That's another way you can use it, and I'm talking about crosses there, and I'm talking about, of course, as well, the concept of going long or short, determined by where you are with the moving average. Now there's lots of other things, nuances that you might want to know about. Interesting ones are where the prices are in relation to the moving averages when they cross. That's something that's interesting to know, and it's something that I've talked about in detail on my channel, and you'll find an education video in my playlist for that, about that topic. Now, there's other things as well. The slope of the moving average, that's important because, of course, the moving average itself is a lagging indicator in terms of lots of things about it. So you're looking as well partly to the slope to get an idea of the trend and how things are feeling with that one. You know, positive slopes up the way better than negative slopes down the way. The fact that it's a lagging indicator isn't actually that big a deal because, of course, you're always looking at what the price is. So I'd finish this little section with talking about moving averages here and invite Jamie to come back over to the charts and whatever else. But just saying here that quickly, you know, that what is price of anything any given time? The price of this thing right now in this exact second, GME, is 159.91, but it'll be a different price almost guaranteed when you go to look up the price next time. What really is price? Price in any given moment is just a snapshot of the price. Price really of anything is actually a combination of what the price is right now and the psychological impact that that price has on you with regards to whether or not that's going to make you want to buy and sell it. And of course, then that affects the economic equation of supply versus demand. And we know that that is always the case. And we can also look at things like trend, etc., and all of those sorts of things. So a moving average is a good idea of the average price over a period of time, and that isn't the price of the asset, but it's a good idea of the average price over a period of time. And therefore understanding where the prices are now in relation to an average, whether that's close, far away, whether the prices are moving up while the average moves down, if the slope on the prices is positive or negative, the slope on the average is positive or negative, where the average is over a period of time compared to an average of price over a different period of time, and so on and so forth. You can derive a lot of information about that psychological impact and relationship between the person perceiving price and the price of the thing itself, which it does have a bearing on the elasticity and, of course, the supply and demand economics basics of this thing, which is one of the things that we do on the channel. And that's why you use moving averages. That's a good introduction, I would hope, and I'll see you at some point for some more detail on that. Oh, aye, hit like. Right, cool. So that's that section done. Right, thanks. That's cool. That'll hopefully help you later on. Right, sweet. So yeah, the usual Fannies. Good one. Excellent. Right, nice one. Okay, here's another question for the audience. Before you'd ever heard the word Fanny, when either Jamie or myself had first said the word Fanny and you first heard it, right? What did you think of? What was your first thought in the audience? And you can write bottom if you thought it was a bottom. You can write Fanny if you thought it was Fanny, right? Or you can write tube, right? You can write tube if you thought that it was neither front or back bottom, but it was just straight up what a fanny is. And a fanny is a tube, right? And if you don't know what a tube is, then I can't help you. God. So what did you think it was? What did you think the first time? You thought it was a tush? Says CC, a tush, a butt. Yeah, people are thinking it's butts, bottoms. Yep. Katie Babes was more enlightened. She knew it was a vagine. Bama Majama, what have you done this time? Check labs, I see that. What? Bama Majama donated $500 there for showing airtime for showing some love to Sauce Food Cart. So glad that I got it right first time. So glad that I got it right. Well done to everybody in the audience if you also said Sauce Food Cart. It was my guess. Yeah, I do know the community and love yous all very much. Bad Mama Jama, wow, what a legend. The Bad Mama Jama donated $500 there, everybody. He did it through PayPal, so there'd be no fees. If he'd done that through YouTube, YouTube would have just netted themselves a tasty $150. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for the consideration of the way that you donated it and everything as well. Massively appreciated, Bam Bam Jama. I mean, what can I say? You're a really generous guy. Me showing Sauce Food Cart to the world there and enjoying his videos, very, very good. It was a pleasure for me to put it on, in fact. There's people that I've watched on YouTube doing cooking stuff quite a lot, in fact, I've watched over the years. And I love a bit of the old American cooking style, and I love that that style that Sauce Food Cart had there of the flipping at the bird as he puts it into the oven and saying that he's probably drunk by the time he's editing it. That was quality. Yes, Trace one, $500. Holy shit is right. It's amazing. Bad Mama Jama, that's really amazing of you. It's very, very kind. Very, very kind. Christy coming in there saying PayPal is the way. Indeed it is, yeah, you know. Jeebus says, Katie Babes, you're truly a special kind of person. Thank you so much for all you do. Yep, you know, that's it. Like, really, really are. I mean, that's really, really lovely of you. So thank you so much. Mama Jamma is a legend. He is. He's a bad Mama Jamma. He really is a bad Mama Jamma. I want a bad Mama Jamma appearance on stream. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Might take me a minute here, but I can do it. So I can actually do that. Can't I? Fuck. Got my... Because it's YouTube being screwing with you there, because I had to go look for your channel on my subscribers list after having searched for it instead of just like, you know, it being there. So let's show you. I'll show you real quick Bad Mama Jamma in a style that I think says a lot about the guy. Right here, here he is walking in front of the camera just there. He's an unusual looking guy. He has his own style. And here we go. Golf is his thing. He loves golf. And come on. And he's got a 300-yard drive as well. So he's a guy that knows how to swing a club. He's got a couple of kids, sons. Will they be the future sort of Tiger Woods, if you like? Kids who learn to play golf at an early age do really, 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 really well at the old golf, as they say in Scotland. Ping! I added the sound effect for you. That's Bad Mama Jamma right there. Great guy. Thank you so much, man, for that. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Of course. Right. I think there was maybe one last... he dresses sharply, says Apple Blossom. He does. He dresses very sharply. That's it. Lots of golf courses got certain rules about what clothes you got to wear as well, and Bad Mama Jamma checking those boxes perfectly there. I need to say legend in all caps. That's right. It's true. He's also a legend on my Patreon, by the way. For anybody who's wondering, this is a very, very, very kind guy, right? That's what he is. He is just a kind guy. So, one last question then. We've got to have one last question. One last question. I'm gonna let somebody from the audience come up with the last question. Let's do one last question, and I'll say cheerio. Somebody in here, so watching along afterwards or whatever, you can see this is the chats on the screen. Here's the chats on screen. The last one that came up was GOAT. So somewhere out there, maybe right now, is furiously typing a question to ask. Was that a snake in his trousers? A question to ask the audience. I'm not going to ask the audience if that was a snake in his trousers. Let's just see. Any question coming up in here. Pressure's on, audience. Don't leave me hanging. The secret of my fanny. Now he's just happy to see you. I wish I could play golf. I sadly can't. The chat in here is great. Lol, legend. There's a snake in his boot. Fanny Gilmore. Yeah. Mount Gilmore, that was, wasn't it? Or wait, no. Happy Gilmore. Fanny Gilmore. Happy Gilmore. All the cats. All the cats love faces from Mama Jamma. Yeah, quality. Right, nobody going to enter a goddamn question. It's like, you know, questions you've had so far. Yeah, right, I am not a cat coming in here. Chicken or fish? He's a cat. No, he's not a cat. So obviously he doesn't think this himself, but anybody who's ever owned a cat would certainly think chicken or fish, right? Go on then, feckers, check it, fish, chicken or fish. That's what you got left with. If you'd have wanted a better question, then you should have got in there and asked it yourself. That's it. That's the question, chicken or fish. I heard some drunk guys talking recently about their favorite types of food, and I was listening along, full-heartedly agreeing with their conversation. They were what we would call in Scotland Jakes, definitely definitely massively tanked by 9 a.m. every morning, these guys. And one of them was saying to the other one, "Oh yeah, I really like chocolate and crisps at the same time. It's the best thing ever, man. Oh, I really like it." And the other guy was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's really nice. I like it too, but it's not my favorite." And he was like, well, what's your favorite? What's your favorite, man? Uh, you can those pickled shrimp that you get out of the chippy. Aye. Will you get some of them? Aye. And you have it with ice cream. It's like, yeah, pickled shrimp and ice cream. What the hell? What, man? Really? Aye. It's the best. You got to try it, man. It's the acid and the vinegar that makes the ice cream. Anyway, they were serious. Couldn't really believe what I was listening to. The first guy though, with the chocolate and the ice, the chocolate and crisps together. Crisps, chips to you Americans. Potato chips. No, like it would be for me personally. It'd be like cheese and onion crisps or chili flavored Monster Munch. There we go. There's a good one. With a chocolate bar at the same time. Heavenly. Oh, you ever tried that? Ever tried the pickled fish at the chip shop with some ice cream though, man? Aye, right. Anyway, great. So did you get your answers in? Was it chicken or fish? Chicken. Let's see. Chicken or fish? This is I am not a cat sat there going, I love the chicken and the fish. Genuinely do wonder. I mean, Coco, for example, is very particular about what she'll eat. Very particular, extreme princess vibes from Coco, massively. One last one. What is it, man? Now you came and seen me. Here's one for being a lucky person in the community. I said I'd be seeing you. Man, you're just a really nice guy is what's going on here. Thanks so much, Bad Mama Jamma, for that. $162 you just popped through there and the thingy. Man, that's really kind of you. It's really, 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 really kind of you. Really do appreciate that sort of stuff. Thanks to everybody that donates, by the way. Every single last one of you is massively appreciated. And Bad Mama Jamma, blow my socks away there, man. Blowing my socks away there, man. That's ridiculous. Going to have to make it so that I'm able to see these things so that you don't have to put a super chat in for me to see that you put a donation in. That's pretty bad form on my part. Man, that's really appreciated. You're a really, really kind guy. Absolutely are. And what a great drive that was. How many yards did you get on that one anyway? 300? 300? I don't know. It disappeared off the camera. It doesn't have the pixels to show you like almost immediately. Yeah. So that's us, right? I think we've done the questions on that. Fish from Dobermamba came in there. Fish in the end from Dobermamba. And did we have any other one? I would like a Scottish glossary. French fries, Space Raider sandwich. A Space Raider sandwich, says Mark's a good lad. There we go. 20 pence well spent there. What the fuck's crisps and ice cream? Aye, crisps and ice cream's not so bad, man. By the way, ice cream, and if you're looking to enhance your ice cream, simply taking a slice of white bread and toasting it is a delectable enhancement to any bowl of ice cream. Truly is. Superfood says, watermelon, says Wally's World. I can't disagree with that. Can't disagree with that, mate. Can't disagree with you, mate. Not at all. Here we have it. A slice of classic looking melon. Puts a smile on your face, does watermelon. Wally, you might be right about that. And with this watermelon, I am going to go and indulge myself very shortly. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. Really had a great time here today. It was a different Friday, quite delayed starting the stream, been on for probably the same amount of time roughly overall anyway. And that having, chatted with Tony earlier on. Great start to the day, really enjoyed it. He's a really lovely guy. Definitely worth checking out his channel. In fact, I can go and find that video just now and link it in here so you can see it, so you can see me and Tony chatting. You can skip the first like 10 minutes of the video in a sense that we are trying to work out some technical difficulties, or you can just watch it. It's all good. It's still just us being us. As I look in my thingy, there you are, pal. And there's our little video. I think certainly there's a copy of. Did you make a copy? It's a copy of it. Whatever. Right, I'm going to pop that in the chitter chatter box so that everybody can see if you didn't get to see that earlier on. So you've got that. There you can go. You can check that out. That's Tony and I chatting earlier on. If you want to join the Patreon, sorry, the Discord, then you do that through the Patreon. So you can have that. It is, of course, the still, whatever. That's that. And yeah, cool. So with that, that's it. We've come to the end. I almost feel like I'm getting attachment issues over here. And I'm gonna have to break it because I'll not be able to leave. I'm your 16-year-old girlfriend. No, you hang up. But I just wanted everybody to know this constitutes one slice of watermelon for me, and I shall be eating all of it like this. Okay, and with that, I'm going to run my intro credits and say cheerio. And my credits. Roll my credits, then say cheerio. Can we do that? Roll credits. Credits rolling. Are they going to roll? Here we have it. Yeah. So thanks massively for watching to everybody. We have. Who do we have here? Well, I mean, Bad Mama Jama, massive thanks to you, man, right? Massive thanks to you. You'll be getting a shout here in a second on the old list, obviously, as well. Bad Mama Jama, thanks for tuning in. Stephen Kimbler, Katie Babes, Ashley Lem, Katie, Wally's World, hey ho, fella, Eat the Red, Wear the Green, Unite for Rocky, Jamie, and her dreams. Nice one. The watermelon helmets are the best. CC jumping in here. Thanks for playing cooking video. I missed whose channel it was though. That's Sauce Food Cart's channel, man. Sauce Food Cart's channel. I'll share that in the Discord for everybody to see it. Well, no reason for me not to just go and get the link now as well. Where is it? Back. There it is. So here is his Parmigiano video. Let me bring it up. There we go. There you have it, friends. Sauce Food Carts link just in the chat there. Supernova says, great as usual. Thank you so much for that. Cockroach Rancher, what did you say? The message got deleted. Oh, he said, heart faces. Katie Babes, right back at you. Oh, that's nice. Excellent stuff. Lovely to see it. Love you, Rocky. Love you too, Nakbo. Love you as well, Dana. Love you, CC, Supernova, Katie, Juro, Nova Scotian Unicorn. Great to see you as ever. Harriet, lovely to see you. By the way, Harriet, sorry for having not sent you through the pictures and that already. Completely forgot. Like, as in, left our chat feeling satisfied. Yes, I knew I was supposed to speak to Harry, and I did that. And then I just checkboxed that one as having been completed. Completely forgot about everything that we talked about immediately. So I'm going to go on and do that. Hopefully today, make the stuff go over my face so I can read it. Whoops, I'm playing your man again. Didn't mean to. Shush, Sauce Food Cart. You're so noisy. So noisy. Isn't he so noisy? He's so noisy in there. What a noisy guy. Right. Thank you so much, Bad Mama Jama, for being a donator through your man PayPal and all that. Apple as well. Oh, thanks so much, Apple. Didn't realize you were coming that way. Thank you so much. In fact, was that just used? It was just used putting that in just to be nice as well. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. And thanks to the member Sensory Hoax for upgrading to Early Supporter Plus. Massively appreciated. Massive. I've had better watermelon in the past, if I'm honest with you, by the way. Pretty nice, though. Over-ripened, so it's got that over-ripenedness to it. I Am Not a Cat, Corey, Daniel Lesage, Drew Sol, Katie Babes, Bad Mama Jama, Wilfred Doomslayer, Katie, Salamander, Dobermamba, Manifest Destiny. You all tuned in today. Thank you so much. When we come back on Monday, we'll be taking a look at AMC and GME. Look out for any potential bonus videos that I would do over the weekend. And of course, in the Discord, I will always keep you up to date with my latest goings on. Best place to follow me to understand, when I'd be next popping up or appearing. But of course, as well, you can follow me on Twitter and all the rest of that too. And next week, we'll be talking about many great things. AMC, GME, cryptocurrency, technical analysis as ever, along with loads of education. We'll also be talking about other ideas, such as discussing with members of the community whether or not the efficient market hypothesis is real, and where do you stand on that thing? Where do you stand on it? Are you a weak efficient market person? That would be the likes of Ruler Zod, who thinks that technical analysis doesn't work. Are you really strong on the efficient market hypothesis, where again you kind of ultimately think it doesn't really work? Or are you somewhere in the middle where you think it does work because you can see clearly with the evidence that we put forward every day of the week that there are? My position on it is that an efficient market hypothesis doesn't say that we're 100% efficient. It's just that it's the activities of the people like yourself and myself that actually create that efficiency by bringing the correct prices to the market. If there were no market participants, there wouldn't be any efficiency in the markets in the first place at all, because there would be no market. So really, efficiency is a question of the human interaction at the end of the day. And we're all fucking humans. We know that it's not 100% efficient. That'd be mine. We'll talk about that and a lot more as part of the show. Nice stuff, kind of, segmented out with news sections and TA, and always, always, always the most wonderful, bestest part of the entire thing, and that is all of you. You're what make this show, and I massively appreciate it. I'll see you all in the Discord, of course, after this.